make money.
What's up, everybody? A couple of bettors, episode 20, Wild Card Weekend coming at you. Just wrapped up a good regular season. Ended up pulling out a couple good weeks at the end there to actually make some money. So pretty happy about it.
I'm better than you, if you ask me.
But I had a couple of those season-long bets that really hit. They were nice.
Yes. Well, I had two.
You had two, actually, yeah.
I lost on one.
We'll have to do a wrap-up about those. Make sure people know the ones that we won. We'll wait till the Bills go to the Super Bowl.
And that's a big one.
Yep. So let's talk about it first.
Speaking of Buffalo.
Weekend at Bernie's. Where was Bernie?
In Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York. I know a lot of you out there are jealous. You're like, where do you want to go in January? Obviously, Buffalo.
Obviously.
That's where I was. That's where she was.
Well, listen, it was a great time. You know, we had to celebrate Christmas a little late because of the blizzard, canceling everybody's flights. Because poor Buffalo just gets shitted on for so many things. But Bernie Man had a great time. He got to hump my parents' new female puppy, and now he's gonna basically.
He's a man.
He's a man. Well, no, he's never gonna be a man. But
no.
Thank goodness he's worn out for. We're flying out to Vegas today. Hopefully, after all the technical difficulties this morning.
That's right.
So he needs to sleep on that flight.
Yeah, but he had his little outfit on, so he's looking good. So where do we watch the games? We were tailgating hard, and
nobody tailgates better than the Buffalo Bills.
Oh man. And it was a little cold, but I tell you what, with the fire pit they had out there and the fireball and the whiskeys and the Labatt Blues.
Shot skis, everything. It was good.
Felt pretty good, actually. It was not too
If you
cold.
didn't check out our Instagram, check it out. Posted a lot of stuff from that.
Bills-related content, that's right. Yeah, but
game.
it was a great game. We'll get into it a little bit more when Christine does a rant, because she's back again with a rant.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up, let's face it, this is where we talk about a lot of the news that happened in the week, where players, coaches, and the like. Always starting out with a sad one, but after DeMar Hamlin, a lot of positive news there, which Christine will get into. We actually wanted to shift everybody's prayers over to Peyton Hillis. So he was a running back, played for the Browns, played for the Giants, and he was on vacation with his family. I'm not sure if it was vacation or they lived there, but it was down in Florida. The young kids go on the beach. They're in the water. He realizes they're in trouble. He goes and rescues them from drowning, but breathed in a bunch of water and stuff like that. They had to resuscitate him on the beach. Got him, to the hospital and stuff, but he's intensive care. He's been under his lungs. There's an issue there, but the bigger thing, they think the lungs can start improving a bit, but the kidneys are not working. So, thoughts and prayers there to Peyton Hillis. Get healthy. Let's get another positive comeback story there. But guy was doing the right thing, saving his own kids and willing to die for it. So, definitely a hero there.
Another sad news, but not as terrible, obviously. No. Lovie Smith, head coach, fired from the Texans. Got a lot of that news coming in this week.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of a lot of people. But Lovie Smith's a little questionable. Do you put it all on him? Don't think so. So that was kind of disappointing to hear that you couldn't just keep working with him. And
yeah, there's questions over. RG3 came out and saying was he just a placeholder because they were tanking anyway and they wanted to rebuild the squad and all that. So it's tough. A one and done coach 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row. You have the coach go in and use 1 year. I mean, we got to give these guys a little bit of time to get a roster together. I mean, Robert Saleh, he had 2 years, and now we're starting to go, well, hey, guy, when are you going to actually turn this thing around? Hope we're trending up a bit, but I mean, we were.
Yeah, you're trending up. I think that's what's helping Saleh.
7-4. We finished with 7 wins. So I mean, it's
I don't know.
Good.
Is it all Saleh's fault, or is it a little bit of Zach Wilson's fault?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Kliff Kingsbury.
Yep, moving on.
Another coach that was fired. Now, this one is he was fired, but he went out and talked. He was talking a little shit. Kyler Murray was just so negative and stuff like that. And Kliff Kingsbury actually, after the season, or was the week before the season ended, he started leaking out stuff Kyler's negativity is rough. It's hard to coach him, this and that. I think he wanted out of this team, out of the deal, and out of coaching Kyler Murray because, they invested in this guy for a long-term deal. He knows he's going to be there, and he's a pain in the ass, yelling at him on the sideline, embarrassing him. The good news is don't cry for Kliff Kingsbury because he got a contract extension 10 months ago, and he's being paid through 2027.
Yeah.
So
he can sit around and do nothing for 4 years.
Collect those checks.
Okay. Quay Walker. If you watched the Packers game the other night
against the Lions,
was very happy for the Lions to kick the Packers out of the playoffs because they do not deserve to go, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm happy that it's over. Lions also made me some money, so thank you for that. But during that game, Mr. Quay Walker, to be honest with you, is a piece of shit. Ooh. He got ejected from the game. This is his second ejection. He got ejected from the Bills game earlier this season for pushing a coach. The other day against the Lions, pushed a trainer. A bunch of trainers running to go help an injured Lions player. This is just days after the whole Damar Hamlin situation, folks. And they just tapped him like this to say, excuse me, I need to get by. And Quay didn't like that, so he shoved the trainer. Right? And that trainer getting shoved got pushed into the other trainers who were actually working on this injured player. Absolutely disgusting. Hopefully you watched the video of him after he got ejected walking into the locker room. He looked like a little bitch. He was crying. Oh, my God. Like, why would they do this to me? You've got to be kidding me. You touch a trainer who has nothing to do with you, who's not bothering you, could possibly be saving someone's life, as we've started learning now that this is a thing. Absolutely disgraceful. I think he should never play again, but, the NFL is the NFL. In the future, if you ever run into Quay Walker and want to bet on Quay Walker, want to take him on your fantasy, fuck that guy.
Yep.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Why are you pushing people not even in uniform?
Yeah. They have nothing to do with you. They're trying to save somebody.
Dumb.
Idiot.
All right, last up, Stetson Bennett the Fourth.
The Fourth, such a weight name.
So yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs went on and won the national championship game, which was a great game, by the way.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, 65-7. But you got the MVP. Look, the guy put up stats all year long. Now some people say he's 25 years old, and there's a bunch. There's a guy that got how many guys in the league? You got the Burrows and all these other guys that are all Allen's younger than him, I think, and all of it. So
at least definitely started younger, and maybe their age now.
Yeah,
if not even there yet.
But they're gonna have to talk about this guy seriously. I think when it comes to drafting him, he's gonna be a later round draft pick. He's small. He's 5'11", 190 pounds, but and I know he's throwing to 5-star recruits that are 20 yards open. Right. But they're undefeated. And they won back-to-back national championship games. Nobody does that, so...
This is true, however, the height thing is rough, I'm learning, with quarterbacks. Because if you play a video game where you're, in the quarterback's view, if I were to be behind a bunch of 6'3" people, I'm going to be I don't know, I can't see who's open. Is anybody there? Let me just throw it and see. So I'm surprised he's as successful as he is, and it may be because everybody's right with him being able to... have all these great players open for him, but
if you were playing quarterback, you could run under people's legs and then they wouldn't find you. So. Shut up, Bernie.
Sorry for Bernie.
All right, next up, how did we do last week? How did we do? We actually did good. We hit 2/3 of our games. Mm-hmm. We didn't even bet normally we're betting 15 to 20 units. We only bet 12.5, and we were able to be plus 5.6 units on that, which is I take that all day long. So, some of the big things here. Bills went strong on the Bills. We had to know that was going to be a strong game. So that was a big winner. 3 units on that one. A couple other things. The Panthers was a good one. Bulldogs, what was that?
The Lions was a good one, too.
Yeah, the Lions was a good one. And we both I hit the under on the 49.5. If you watched the last video, I said it was probably going to be a game that was that close, and it was going to be under the 4. So those Lions game was a good one. Steelers, you hit. I bet Georgia first half was a joke. And the one thing that sucks, so this sucks because Christine bet it. I was planning on betting the Jets, but then we find out later on that Mike White's not going to go. It's Joe Flacco, and then a bunch of the linemen aren't going to go, and you knew that game was going to suck. And so I laid off the game. I didn't bet it. I also so Christine had lost a few bucks. I also wanted to say that my lock of the week was last week was the Chargers, and if you look on this list, I didn't bet it because it didn't matter. It turns out by the time you got to that game on Sunday, it didn't because of what the Jags did. The game didn't matter to the Chargers. So I held off. Probably should have posted, but we were,
So if you listen to him, he apologizes immensely. For
Sunday morning, I'm tailgating at the Bills Stadium. I'm not paying attention to putting the post
early
up.
Start,
So,
yep.
So I hope you didn't bet the lock, but I didn't. All right, week 18 takeaways. Real quickly, Seahawks got help. They backed in. The Lions helped them out. All right, the Dolphins barely beat the Jets to back into the playoffs. Ugly game. I think there's going to be another ugly game this week with the Dolphins, but you can get into that one. Mm-hmm. But the Jets, it's like whatever. They kind of like it didn't even seem like based on how many people were playing that they're now they get a better draft pick, whatever, right?
Yeah, it was kind of.
Speaking of draft picks, interestingly enough, the Texans, they win a game on the last second, and then they go for 2, and then they get it. And then they don't have the number 1 draft pick. Why would you do that?
But the Bears, congratulations to them. You do have the number 1 draft pick, so.
Yeah, go Bears. Good for you guys. I mean,
Bears.
They had to be watching that game as the Bears and being like, what the fuck are they doing? Why would they do that?
That's great.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Well, unfortunately, the Cowboys got crushed by the Commanders, which is kind of strange and will probably not make sense when you listen to who we're taking for these playoff games this weekend, but I stand behind what I'm going to say. And the Niners rolling the Cardinals. Niners are good. They are a threat. I am scared of them. But I also, for the most part, this year will be playoff season putting my money on them, depending on the spread.
Yeah, right. There's a big spread this week.
This week it's a big spread. We'll talk about that later.
They'll probably tighten up as you keep going further in the rounds. You got to figure the teams are better. And last up, so now based on who won, which is the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, all of that based on the Damar Hamlin canceled game between the Bills and the Bengals puts the AFC Championship game location in play as potentially at a neutral location. So, as they said, if it's going to be Bills versus Chiefs, it's going to be at a neutral location. I believe it's if it's Bills Bengals, is it still?
I believe the Bengals will get it. It's only if the Chiefs Bills is or
Chiefs Bengals, then it won't be.
Right.
Chiefs will get the home game. Anyway, we're hoping that it's the Bills in the AFC Championship game playing at a neutral site because there's not a lot of neutral sites that could say, "Hey guys, we found out the week before we need a location to play a game, and we need it to be a lot of hotels that are there so you can take all the people that are going to go watch the game." There's one place that comes to mind, though.
Woo!
Las Vegas, Nevada. You heard it here first. I think it's going to be at Allegiant Stadium. And if it is, we're going to walk down the block and go to that game.
Come on, let's go, baby!
So you got to win a couple first, though. You can't just go get it.
That's easy.
All right.
It's my time to rant.
Deserve this one. You deserve a good time to rant on this one.
All right, I want to rant.
All right.
I'm so excited. So, yes, a last-minute decision. So we happen to be in Buffalo. All of our plans got canceled because they had that terrible blizzard that shut down the entire city for like 4 days. People didn't make it. Awful. Came back in this past weekend and decided to take my dad to the Bills game. He hasn't been there in like 20 years, he said, to the stadium. And everybody wanted to be there this weekend for Damar. We wanted to pay our respects and watch the Bills crush it because they had to and they have to keep doing it all these, the entire playoffs and into the Super Bowl for Damar. He came home last night to Buffalo General, but they actually have announced that they released him and they'll be monitoring him at home with the team's staff and doctors. So that's excellent news. However, though, at the game, Damar's presence was everywhere. So many people had signs, hearts. All the players came running out with 3 flags. It was a whole show. It was all for him the entire day. I do want to point out that every team had shirts on that played Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Every game they had shirts on. Everybody painted their 3s, highlighted their 3s on their field, no matter what stadium it was, what city. So awesome to see. Looking forward to what tributes we have on Sunday. And nothing better than to start a very important game off after you just had a shitty week with Hines taking the first kickoff all the way down for a touchdown. Some people think it was rigged by the NFL. I don't know how that would happen, but sure. And he eventually got a second one. I think it was third or fourth quarter. I can't remember. Yeah. They ran it again all the way in for a touchdown. Fantastic. If you look through tweets and whatnot, a lot of 3 magic moments were accounted for. Basically, like, oh, this happened 3 years ago and 3 months ago, like, and it hasn't happened since. So a lot of stuff like that. But moving on, great game. Can't thank enough everybody, the Bills fans. It was fantastic being there. Tailgating was sick. If you ever go to a game, go against the Bills at their home because they just know how to do it, and they're very accommodating to other fans too. Yeah. Dolphins, they're swimming their way to Buffalo this Sunday. We are the 1 o'clock or early game, depending on where you are. I think it's because they know the Dolphins are kind of terrible and it's a crap game. That's why it's not one of the primetime ones. But we found out today, right before this was recorded, that Tua will not be playing. He was not cleared. They will be starting their third string, Skylar Thompson, whoever he is. So the spread has moved. It's still a heavy spread for the Bills, so we're not sure if it's not something we're going to take, and we'll talk about that later. But this should be an easy win. Hopefully it'll be impressive anyway. Get some fun plays in, and just let's go Buffalo. I'm so excited for all these weeks to come because we're going to be in it, people. Definitely going to be in it. Let's go Bills. Buffalo deserves this. Woo!
All right. Next up, just want to give everybody a breakdown of the bracket, what it looks like for the playoffs, who's in. Obviously, Kansas City and the Eagles had the 1 seed, so they're the only ones that are off this weekend. So we'll have 6 games of action. 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 1 on Monday night, which will be the last Monday Night Football game of the year. Looking at this, yeah, we'll go through each of the games. We have 2 quarterbacks that are, backup quarterbacks that are going to be playing. But you got a couple good games for the weekend. And it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out in terms of who's playing who, how the seeding works out, and hopefully what that means for who the Bills play next, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully they get that dub. All right, let's get into the games. First up, first game of Wild Card Weekend is going to be Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers, number 7 versus number 2 seed. It's a big spread on this one.
Yeah, we were talking about how, I think the 49ers are going to be a good team. They're going to be hard to beat. But 9.5 spread against the Seahawks, a little scary. I think they can do it, but I feel like the over is more of a possibility and a safer bet. So we're both putting our money on the over.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Niners run the ball really well. They still have a decent passing offense, and Seattle's defense is not great, 26th in the league. So I think that alone should help us get to the over. Niners have a good defense, yes, but I do think that Pete Carroll's going to pull out all the stops because he knows he's facing an uphill battle here to be able to try to beat these guys. So he's going to do everything he can, whether that's a trick play here or there or whatever. So we think over the 42.5. It's a low total.
And I wouldn't be so upset if the Seahawks happen to pull out a win against the 49ers.
Sure.
I mean, do they deserve it? No, but by luck, get the 49ers out of the playoff scenario. I'm not upset about that.
That's true, right. Yeah, that you'd pretty much be handing the championship game probably to the Eagles at that point.
Yeah.
So go for the over on this game. Next up, LA Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So LA has a better record at 10-7. But they didn't win their division, so Jacksonville is the 4 seed because they won their division. So they got to go on the road, which is tough. When these West Coast teams, you got to go all the way across to the East Coast. That's a tough one. So we're both on the Jags.
We're on the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence, he's iffy. I think, though, this is going to be one of those games where he will be on his game. And they're getting 2 points. So it's not like a big, crazy spread, and therefore I think the Jaguars, because they're at home, Trevor Lawrence is going to pull out all the stops. This is very important, no screwing up. I'm going with the Jags along with Josh. We think this is the way to go. So put your money on the Jags.
Yeah, and look, the Chargers are one-dimensional. They throw the ball. That's what they do. They're almost last in the league in rushing. the throwing the ball includes a lot of throws to Austin Eckler out of the backfield, so it's kind of a little bit biased in terms of the stats. But yeah, Jags at home dogs in the playoffs, number 4 seed, home dog in the playoffs. We take the points. I should wear a shirt that says "Take the points" when we're watching it. I gotta dig that one up. Take the points.
Yeah. Okay. Well, So this is an easy one. Dolphins at Buffalo. We talked about it already. Again, the spread is at -13 because Dolphins have their third string quarterback in. I would not suggest putting your money on the Bills on this spread. It's too scary. I think, I hope they crush it. You just don't know what's going to happen. And also, at some point, are they going to start pulling players off the field because they know this is kind of a joke game? It's not really, something where they're willing to risk anybody's physical health, to beat the Dolphins as long as they're already in the lead. So -13 might be too much. I obviously think the Bills are going to win. Josh is going with the under 43.5.
I just think that the Bills are going to be the only one scoring.
Right. This is
so it might be 35-0, and then it's just like, okay, it's still under.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, but you played against the Jets and put up 11 points, but it was really 9 because you got a weird safety at the end. Put up 9 points, 3 field goals, and it came at the last second so you really had 6 points all game basically. Same guy starting. It's a rough one. If I was them, I would just be doing like double reverse pass, weird shit, trick plays against the Bills because the only way you're going to come close to touching them is if you do weird shit. But I just worry about it's up by 19, and at the end of the game, like Allen's out, everybody's out. They take so
that's what the worry is. Yeah. It's with a high spread that shows you who obviously is the good team in all this, but it's a little scary for your money.
Totally. All right.
New York Giants at the Vikings. We are both on the Giants.
Yep.
Vikings are a fucking weird team, man. They just keep winning by a little tiny bit. Do they deserve to be where they are? Yes, but, they're not the best of the best. We both think that the Giants are going to bring it all out. Dable might become the old Dable that started in the beginning of the season where he's just going to do what he can to make sure they pull out this win. And the Giants are getting 3 points, which is helpful for the spread.
Yeah. Look, they probably would have been 10-6-1, except the Giants just didn't play their starters the last game. Right? So, that 9-7-1, still not a respectable record. They just played a few weeks ago, guys. I don't know if you remember this, around Christmas time. Maybe you had too much of the eggnog, okay, and you forgot about it. But 60-yard field goal to win it, that's how the Vikings won it. It was a close game. We think the Giants can do a little bit more to actually get the W on this one. So, run it back and take those points for the Giants on the road and bet on Dable. And Saquon and Danny Dimes. Let's go. All right. All right. This one's my lock of the week. Cincinnati Bengals at home facing the Ravens that will likely not have Lamar Jackson. That's really the reason. They say that he's facing an uphill battle to play. He wants to play. His knee is still swollen. So that's another inhibitor to him actually playing. They say a guy like him, he's very twitchy. He just gets out of the pocket, stuff like that. He got a swollen knee. It's a little bit rough. If he does play, does it give him a better chance to win? 100%. Without him, they're just running the ball. That's all they could do, one-dimensional. So, I think that once they announce that Lamar is not playing, the spread's going to move a little bit more than the 7 that it is today, which is on Wednesday. On that Bengals. -7, buy a touchdown, and pay the 120 juice. A little bit more than 110 that's normal, but I'd still like to push at 7 if it gets that way.
I just want to add also that I think the Bengals deserve this. Let Lamar sit, give them a freebie. They've been so helpful to the Bills and the whole Hamlin situation and possibly getting screwed with the new rules because of the game being canceled.
True.
Give them this free one. Just like we're kind of getting a free one with the Dolphins. And then it's game on. Then we become enemies after this. So go Bengals. You deserve this win.
They handled it super classy.
Super classy.
Everybody there.
2 cities came together. It was great. So you guys can have this one. You'll get it without Lamar. But I think this is a little thing from the gods saying, Lamar's still hurt. You'll be okay.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I'm on it. Let's do it.
This is my lock of the week. Woo! Let's go Cowboys. All right. So part of this decision is Brady sucks. Ooh. Hate Brady. But they do say that Brady is 7-0 against the Cowboys, 3-0 versus Prescott. However, this is the playoffs. Prescott, yes. Listen carefully. Get your shit together. Be on your game. You guys can kill them. You can crush them. You can have an absolute blowout winner. Don't screw up. And my faith is in the Cowboys. They know how important this is. Look at the record, 12-5 and 8-9. Like, the Bucks don't deserve to be here. They know it. Show them that they get them out now. Get this shit team out of the playoff scenario. My money and my lock of the week is all on the Cowboys. Yeehaw.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I would throw in is just like, I hope they get up early on them. Mm-hmm. You know, the Bucks inevitably they're a very good fourth quarter team this year because Brady, that's all he does. He waits till has some offense at the end, and so they'll get a touchdown late, whatever it is. Just get up on them early, So that's it for the games. We'll roll through really quickly what we're actually betting, so everybody can screenshot this and go to the chapters that we put in YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, click the chapters. You could select each game and figure out what the spreads were and all that before the game as you're watching them. But me and Christine are all together on all these bets. These 6 games. This is consensus. These are wieners. And the first one, Seattle Seahawks versus the Niners. Take the over 42.5. Low points. I know the Niners' defense is good, but the Seattle's going to do everything they can in their power to put up some points because they know they have to do it, whether that's trying to block punts or doing reverses and passes and all kinds of weird shit. So go for the over, and it's fun.
We have Jaguars +2 versus the Chargers. Again, we just said hopefully we'll get the Trevor Lawrence that is the good Trevor Lawrence, not the iffy Trevor Lawrence against the Chargers. And if that's the case, they'll definitely cover that spread, but +2 points.
Yep. And we got the Giants at the Vikings. Let's have a replay of a couple weeks ago, except this time, Giants, you'll be the ones that are going to pull this one out. Mm-hmm. Get the W. My guess is the Giants buy a field goal here, so you take the 3 points. Then, this is my lock of the week. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. In a showdown, divisional matchup here, and look, it's too much. The Bengals have too much. Lamar Jackson is not playing, likely not playing. It's 7 points. Can they win by a touchdown? I think they're going to probably win by 17 points here. It's just, look, take your money, double it up, triple it up, put all of it on there. Don't tell your wife. Maybe go into the piggy bank, deposit it into the account. Maybe ask your friend for Western Union. Western Union you the money. And put it all on the Bengals. Jesus. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, too much.
Okay, next.
Last up's you.
Yeah, well, hit my button. My lock of the week is Cowboys -2.5 versus the Bucks. Fuck you, Tom Brady. Time to be done. Cowboys, get it right. Just do the good you. Don't give us the shitty you. We want the good Cowboys, the good Dak Prescott, and beat the Bucks. They don't deserve to be here. My lock of the week is Cowboys -2.5.
Let's do it. All right, so that's it, everybody. I'm going to get that rolling here. We're going to be exiting out, getting on a flight, going back to Las Vegas so we can enjoy the games out there at some cool sports bars and cool casinos and all those things. And our time in New York is coming to an end. So we wish you adieu, and we will see you all.
Let's go Bills! Woo!
See you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bettors. Couple of bettors.
I want to make money. Couple of bettors. Couple of bettors.
Couple of bettors.